Why do you sabotage yourself even more when you're actually succeeding? Self-sabotage is a pattern that I see all the time. Things are going really well, you're starting to build real momentum, people are noticing, and then you disappear, you stall, you procrastinate. You start questioning yourself and then you pull back from the very thing that you want. And it makes no sense, right? Because it's something that you consciously want. You've worked so hard for it. The business, the confidence, the opportunities, the freedom. And you're not confused about that. You're not confused about what you want. So why is there a part of you that keeps putting on the brakes every time you get close to achieving the thing that you want? Most people assume that it's something wrong with them. It's part of their personality. It's who they are. That they're lazy or that they don't really want it or that they can't actually get it. But what's really happening is a protection strategy. One thing about success that people don't really talk about is that it changes things. It brings you more visibility, more attention, more responsibility. And if your nervous system at some point in your life has learned that having more attention is unsafe, then that success, that visibility starts to feel like a threat. It starts to feel dangerous. Not logically, not in your conscious mind, but subconsciously and in your nervous system, you're going to feel that threat. And your subconscious mind doesn't really give a shit about your 5-year plan. It cares about keeping you emotionally safe. And that's its job. And it bases this on experiences you may have had a very long time ago, usually in your childhood. If being yourself, being loud or having too much attention got you into trouble, maybe it caused criticism, humiliation, rejection from a parent or someone else in authority. Your nervous system has stored up that event and made up a meaning about it and what that means about you. That it's not safe to be seen. It's not safe for you to have any attention on you. Now, anytime you start moving forward, gaining any kind of expansion or growth or change in your life, your internal alarm bells begin to go off. And those alarms aren't always some massive, big, dramatic event. It can show up like suddenly feeling exhausted, uninspired, or going quiet, or really, being really hard on yourself and wondering if you're actually really cut out for this thing that you're trying to achieve. And then along with this comes all the shame. You start to say things to yourself like, I always ruin everything. Why can't I do this? I never follow through. I just can't stay consistent, which is honestly one of the cruelest loops that we can do to ourselves, because you're beating yourself up and you're attacking yourself for a response that really is not about you. It's not who you are. It is a subconscious program. And a lot of people don't realize that having success is going to bring a lot more attention to you. And for someone who's been carrying these wounds around for their whole life about having more attention on them, gets them into trouble, it can be pretty terrifying to have that thought that a lot more people are going to see you now, even when that attention is good attention and it is attention that you actually want. And this is why so many people get stuck in that pattern of over preparation, over consumption, and never actually moving forward with the thing that they want to do. One more course, one more plan. I need to prepare this thing just a little bit more before I go for it. And yes, sometimes it is genuine that you need to do a course, or you might need to prepare something a little bit more before you release it. But most of the time it's just procrastination. Most of the time it's just a really clever way of staying close to the dream without ever having to fully be in it. Because once you really go for it, you can't hide behind the potential anymore. So the answer isn't to push yourself harder or to shame yourself into being consistent. That approach is going to keep your nervous system in protection mode, and it's going to keep you stuck. Real change begins when you start to feel safe with that expansion and with that growth, when success stops being associated with danger, and when being seen no longer triggers that old alarm system. And this doesn't happen overnight. It happens through small steps of momentum, showing up and taking those small actions towards the goal. And one at a time is all you need to do to start. It doesn't have to be the whole thing, because that's going to keep you stuck if you're thinking you have to do the whole thing at once. One small step at a time is the achievement. And this repetition builds new evidence for your nervous system and for your subconscious mind that actually moving forward is safe. There is no danger in moving towards the thing that you're trying to achieve, through being kind and patient with yourself rather than using shame as the motivation. Because using shame as your motivation, even though you might have good intentions about it, it's going to keep you contracted. Shame is a low frequency emotion, and it's not going to help you create and attract what you actually want. So safety is what allows the growth, not force. And when you begin to do that work, you begin to shift your nervous system, your subconscious mind. And when you do that work, you begin to shift what your nervous system believes, what is actually possible for you and what is safe for you. one step at a time, and then you stop sabotaging yourself. And not because things are now fearless overnight and you've just instantly changed everything, but because your nervous system is actually catching up with what your mind already knows. Through experience, through small, consistent steps, it is safe to be seen, it's safe to grow, it's safe to expand. That's what we're here for. It's safe to actually let success land in your life.